I'd like to call to order the Parks Board meeting for April 22nd, 2024. Have an opening prayer. Father, thank you for this lovely day, Lord. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your grace, Lord. Be with us as we go through the night and just help us keep clear minds. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Perry, would you do the honor, sir? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. Okay. If you've had a chance to look over the agenda, I'll accept a motion. Ms. Bennett first, Ms. Hellman second. Any discussion on that? No discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? If you've had a chance to look over the minutes for last month, if you look all right, Mr. Park says they're fine. Mr. Head says they're second. In discussion? No. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir. Sir, would there be any public comments?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman. No comments this evening.
One of these days I'm going to sign up myself just so we'll have one. We have a presentation here. Would that be you, Mr. Gilly?
No, sir. I do not see the young lady that was going to present tonight, so we may put that off till next time.
Yes, sir.
She does have some good information. I don't know if you read through your packet, some feedback that she got from Mary's Place, so hopefully she'll be here next time to present that.
Very good. If she shows up before it's over with, let us know.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Items for approval. Beautiful Hendersonville painted trash cans. Ms. Pascal. Step to the lantern and press the button. Yes, ma'am. And state your name. Push your little red button, the button in the center. Took me 2.5 years to find it myself.
There's a red one. Oh, there's a green one. Okay.
I said red, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
State
He
your
knows.
case, ma'am.
Okay, Kathy Pascal, and I'm with beautiful Hendersonville. And here tonight to talk with you guys about our beautiful painted trash cans. I think Mr. Gilly sent you all the information, the email that I had sent him, and then the pictures that we did. You know, we are, our mission is to develop and promote different projects within the city that educate and beautify and maintain and preserve the beautification of the city. In March is the Litter Awareness Month, and we go into the schools and we talk to the elementary kids, the third graders, about litter, what it is and what it does, and how they can help prevent it and how they can help clean it up. And then after that, we present a community cleanup. So that's the month of March. But we thought, what a better way to keep that litter awareness going all year round, because it's needed all year round, than to do these beautiful trash cans throughout the park. I think that a lot of people would see it. They would be drawn to it with the beautiful art that's on it, and they'd use it, you know. I know they do a great job in the parks with keeping them clean, but we placed the first 14 around town at different businesses, and they've been very well received. So some have sent me pictures of the litter in them, so they're being used, so that's a good thing. So I would like to, we would really like to put some in the parks. I think that it would be, again, it's beautiful. You've got the big barrels there now, but you can see, and I'm assuming, do we have Jason? Okay, I'm not sure. Well, there's 14 of them. Do you have all of the pictures, or 12? That's the only one you have?
That's the only picture we have right now.
Okay.
This is an example. What you're seeing on the screen is an example of the trash cans that beautiful Hendersonville just recently placed throughout the community at the businesses. I think Ms. Pascal would like for these similar trash cans to be in the different areas in the parks. We've kind of been working with her to identify places where they might not get vandalized or won't flood and float out into the lake as much, so that we could keep these clean and showed off. We just wanted to make sure you all were okay with artwork like this being put in the park.
The artwork, we met with and worked with a local artist, Krim Blakesley. He's done lots and lots of wonderful art all over the world, actually. But we discussed what the images were that we would want him to do that were in keeping with Hendersonville, with the city. So he did geese, he did flowers, he did musical notes, he did sailboats. So, I feel like he listened and did a very good job. So we would love to place some in the parks. I don't know what we'll have with our budget, quite honestly, and they do cost about $400 a piece to do, but we would love to place them very strategically in the park, so.
Okay, questions?
It's,
Sir?
who, if the paint and all starts to fade on them, is somebody gonna come in and touch them up, or just kind of a
Crim-
maintenance thing?
Right. He does live close by, and he's very protective of his art, he has told me. So he would be more than happy. And in the design of the can, you can see the bottom where we stenciled beautiful Hendersonville, the black. We felt that would be the most likely area to get some wear and tear, maybe from mowing and that sort of thing. So he would certainly be willing to touch that up. The top part where the white is, we designed that so that the trash bags that fold down over it wouldn't cover up any of the artwork. This paint that he has used on here is very good. He highly recommended it and said that just with normal use and wear and tear that should last about 5 years.
Questions? Let's say, devil's advocate, let's just say that 9 kids decided one night to go over and deface 5 of them. What, you think your artist would be privy to fixing those, or what?
I think he would be willing to do something with it. I know he would, but I don't know that he would necessarily go back with the exact same detailed art that had taken so much time.
Okay. We have a motion to approve. Mr. Golden, second. Mr. Head. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? You got it.
Yay, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Elementary cross-country, Scott, and I'm not even going to try to say the last name. No, there you good. You're better than me. Let's hear him say it.
So just so y'all are aware, Coach Waiteka has done a lot with different races at different levels over the last couple of years. We brought him back to the board tonight because now that he is the coach at Liberty Creek, our previous agreement with him as a coach was that anything that he held in the park was through Beach High School. So we are just bringing this back as a new thing because he's no longer Beach's coach. He is Liberty Creek's coach. So that is partly why we are here tonight. So.
All right, my name is Scott Waiteka, and I live in Hendersonville as well. Moved here in 2008. I was chasing my wife, and she wanted to move to Arkansas, so I came over this way, and then we stayed. But it was about 10 years ago. I was teaching H.B. Williams Elementary, and we had an elementary team, and then we started competing in this Knoxville League, and it was a pretty big deal in Knoxville. And then they have a league in Chattanooga and Memphis, and then at Nashville as well. So that's something I thought Sumner County really needed. It's a sport that's a lifelong sport, and also it's a sport where, as a teacher, a lot of times if I try to recruit athletes, they'll say, I've never run before, or I'm not a runner. So my dream several years ago was to have an elementary league that kind of exposes them to the sport at a young age to kind of see if they like it, or going to carry on through high school and beyond. And there's been a lot of things at play, but since we've started our races, I think it was 6 years ago, middle school numbers in Sumner County have gone up 500%. High school numbers have more than doubled, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but I like to think our early exposure helps that as well. The whole goal is just to get kids plugged in, whether they're Sumner County, outside of Sumner County, we have some of them, and public school, private school, homeschool. We just expose it to anybody who wants to show up and come out and compete. And expose them to a sport that meant a lot to me as a athlete and now as a coach.
And specifically, this is for the elementary races. These are races that he holds on Sundays, either at at Saunders Ferry, or like, for instance, when we have the art festival, he'll be at Heritage Park that weekend. So the agreement would be, with this, while the organization makes money, we would invoice him strictly for like a small event. So it's $100, anything under 500 people. So
Little differently with this. Before it was a fundraiser for Beach High School. All the proceeds from this go to, I believe he's listed Sumner Sumner Cross Country, which basically goes back to help run this program, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, in the past, the proceeds, most of them went to Beach High School, but now that there's more kids getting involved, I kind of want to spread it more around Sumner County. Venus Stewart, they're a Title IX school. They have a pretty big crowd that comes out, and they struggle a little bit more financially, so I like to push money their way, whether I'm buying them uniforms or T-shirts, just find ways to kind of get kids excited about elementary cross country. As a cross-country coach, it excites me because, I mean, you could argue my competition's getting better, but it doesn't matter what school you compete. I just want to see kids involved and see Sumner County continue to grow. And I feel like it's been doing that over the last several years, and hopefully it continues to do that.
More questions? Ms. Hellman?
Go ahead.
I just want to say I started with Scott coaching at Jack Henderson whenever we were going to Nashville every weekend for a meet. There was no meets at all in Sumner County, and it has really grown. So many kids have joined, and it's a great thing that we're doing here in the county.
Okay.
I'm just going to make a motion. Congratulations. Thank you for what you do, Scott.
All right,
Make a motion.
thank you all as well. I'm excited to do it.
Make a motion to approve it.
Mr. Perry, second, Mr. Perry first, Mr. Bennett second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Yes, sir.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Fit Foundation Kickball Tournament, Mr. Lowry.
It took about 2 years.
My name is Mark Lowry, and my nonprofit is called Fit Foundation. What I turned in an application for was just to be able to use the turf field at Drakes Creek for just a day of kickball for families with people with special needs. So it's not a tournament really, it's really just reserving that field so that we can play. There's no fee or anything involved. It's just basically an activity for the families.
Okay.
And the only reason why I have the program application followed by the special event application was, after reading it, it fit more of the special event side of things, but his signature was on the program application, so I want to make sure that we had his signature in the board. So that's why you have both applications.
Just a point of clarify for the board and Wade, we had talked about Field 5 for that date, from 4 to 7. If we're going to look at Field 3, there is a baseball tournament scheduled on that date for Field 3, and we won't know that schedule up until it gets closer to their game time. So if it has to be Field 3, we'll have to look at times. Field 5 I can block out because there's nothing scheduled right now for Field 5.
Is that a turf field?
No, the only turf field is Field 3.
Yeah, that's why I asked for it.
Right. Well, I thought Wade had communicated that to you that,
No.
well, I can't guarantee you that Field 3 would be available at that time until we get the baseball schedule, because we have already told baseball, this baseball tournament, we've reserved it for them in advance.
No, that's not. No. We looked specifically, Net Elite was supposed to be done by 4 o'clock on that Sunday.
I don't remember that conversation. I thought we still go on Field 5. If you can remember that, that's fine. I've not remembered that.
That's why we looked at the different weekends. That was the one weekend after, with it being a Sunday afternoon, that we could accommodate them.
So I think we have a couple of things. We could probably vote to approve the kickball tournament, or kickball day, I guess we're not calling it a
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
We can look that day at times, we can look, if you all agree that we should host a kickball day, we can look at this date, we can look at other dates, we
Yeah,
can look at
we
the
can
turf
look at-
soccer
If
field.
you're not blo-
We
if you're
can
not
look at
locked
the turf
into that-
baseball field.
No, because
There's-
I think I had a different original date, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently there was a company that was reserving fields maybe the weekend before, because I think I looked at the weekend of the 14th, 15th, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was blocked out, so we just moved to the next weekend. So if there's another weekend, within a week or two,
Yeah, sure.
then that's fine. I really did, though, specifically ask for the turf just because of these kids and,
Right, I understand, yeah, we can work it out, it's just, once we get approval, we may have to shift the date a little bit.
okay, that's fine. Sunday afternoon's fine, too. I
Or
think
Saturday?
it's- Yeah, we could do Saturday. I kind of liked the Sunday afternoon because I know a lot of parents, they really don't have anything going on, late Sunday afternoon. And usually during the week, there are other things that fill up their schedule, but Sunday afternoon seemed like a good time.
Yep, I think we can work it out, it's just a
Okay.
matter of the date.
Okay,
So we're voting to approve the day, and then you guys will handle the,
I get- if
We
y'all
work
would
with
approve-
staff to pick the date and
yeah,
time.
If y'all approve the event,
I'll make a motion that we approve the event and that the date get worked out with the Parks Office.
Mr. Head first, Mr. Pike second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? You're good. Just
thank you
make
very
sure-
much. I'll keep in touch with Wade. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just stay in touch. You'll be
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Thank you.
No, I figured it out. It was the 22nd. That's what it was. Mark,
Wills and.
Mark, it was the 22nd we talked about. The 14th and the 15th is Net Elite and Heroes Day with Dan Bristol's tournament. And so it was the 22nd. And we don't have anything on the 22nd.
if y'all give me okay, that's
what it was.
fine.
I was
yeah.
trying to figure out what it was, but that's what it was. Because on the 22nd, PWC is there, but they don't play on Field 3.
Correct, yeah. They
So
would not
that's what
use
it was.
Okay, good. Wheels and Thrills Car Show, Mr. Neal.
My name's Ed Neal. I'm with the Special Needs Sports Foundation, and we got a division called Club Able to Be Me. We do all type of activities for special needs individuals. Mr. Gilly and Wade have worked with me in the past from several different things. This year, we wanted to do something a little different, and I forgot Mr. Bubba Perry over there. But we want to do something a little different for a car show to make it not where people have to really get out and run and whatever. We want to do a car show, and I've talked with Wade, and he said he could probably get us at Saunders Ferry Park. We've picked two dates. We've picked October the 13th, and we picked October the 6th, and October the 13th is the rain-out date. And this is where we make a little fundraising thing, and we thought we might start trying to bring a nice car show to Hendersonville, and maybe in the future partner with the Parks Department. But this is our first one. It's going to be our learning curve, and we'd certainly appreciate y'all approving the date for us.
Okay. Any questions?
I just wanted to see where at in Saunders Ferry Park would it be located? We have any idea?
My initial thought was looking at like shelters 1, 2, and 3. But depending on how many cars, I mean, the issue with the parking lot is if you take away the parking lot for the car show, you're not going to be parking. But that area around shelters 1, 2, and 3 is flat enough where you can pull cars onto it and people could walk around. We use it for parking for some of our bigger events down there, and it not take away from the parking lot. So that would be and I feel like that might be a little more accessible, a little bit easier accessible. So that'd be my initial, from a spacing perspective. But honestly, we'd have to look and see what we got car-wise.
You probably have this written down anyway, but do you know how many cars you're expecting?
This is our first show, so we don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to try and have like 8 or 10 divisions. It's just a gunshot. I don't really know how many.
Yeah.
That's the reason we put it off to October, for we could get some feel about how many cars we're going to have. We're going to have a lot of people there as volunteers to make sure they get to the right spots. that they don't block traffic like Wade said. You don't park here, you go around, you park there. But to answer your question, I really don't know how many would show up. Now, we may get 50 cars and we may get 150 cars. I don't know. It's this being our first one.
Yes, sir? No? Any more discussion? Any more questions?
No, Wade, no fishing going on, no tournament fishing going on that week?
No, sir.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Let's just make a motion and approve it if it's okay
Mr.
with
Perry is
Park
first, Mr. Golden second.
One question.
Questions?
Andy, if all the money's going for the charitable, and I'm fine with that, do we need to read something in motion like we've done in the past where we waive any kind of fee?
That is up to the will of the Parks Board.
Okay.
All right, I'll restate the motion to approve this with the waiving of the fee for the charitable.
Did you get that, Mr. Gillum?
Yes, sir.
Second was Mr. Golden. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mid-10 softball showcase. Ms.
Namey Walks. We got one before that.
What I say?
Amy Walks.
Namey Walks, Sumner and Wilson.
Amy Walks, Sumner and Wilson, Katrina Gay.
Okay, good enough. Did I miss that?
It's NAMI, it's
Sorry.
N-A-M-I, NAMI Walks. Some people say NAMI like potato, but I'm Katrina Gay. I live in Hendersonville. I've been here for 33 plus years. I'm also the executive director of NAMI, Sumner and Wilson County. This is a it's a newly expanded affiliate of NAMI. NAMI is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization in the country. We have a national organization, 50 state organizations, and 650 local affiliates across the country. And we provide free support, education, advocacy for families, individuals, and the community. We also do community initiatives, and most importantly, and relative to Hendersonville, is we provide CIT training, crisis intervention team training for the Hendersonville Police Department. 50% of the police officers are trained in mental health crisis intervention, so we are the leaders of that effort as well. I'm here to talk about NAMI Walks. We've never had a NAMI Walk here. Our affiliate was what we call a kitchen table, all volunteer-led affiliate until later last year when the Department of Mental Health provided some funding to expand the affiliate to better serve demand and needs in these two county areas. So I've worked with NAMI National for 25 years. I commuted and telecommuted to DC for many years. I have the stab wounds to attest to that. And am now back in Hendersonville, and I'm really delighted to be taking this affiliate on. We have a robust and wonderful board of directors, including several prominent members of Sumner County. NAMI Walks is the largest mental health walk in the country. There are 150 national walks, 7 happening in Tennessee this year. It is one of the top 30 walks of all peer fundraising walks in the country, not just mental health. And NAMI Walks won the Organization of the Year in 2022. So far this year, and we're not even halfway through, we've raised $6 million nationwide. There are 26,000 participants signed up, 4,000 teams, and it can be a really big deal for a community to help raise awareness and really promote, a community that cares to people who struggle and really help create lifelines for people with mental health conditions. So we petitioned the Parks Department to have a walk on September 21st at Memorial Park. It would be from 9 to noon. This is our first year walk, but we're part of this national franchise, so there's like a real amazing enterprise behind it. There are all the insurance as well as national backup insurance for things, and it's a really first-rate initiative, and we get sponsors So far, we have volunteer behavioral health. The Hendersonville Police Department wonderfully is going to sign on to as a team, and others in the community, including some people from Judge Key McCormick's office, and hopefully she'll twist some arms because she's also on the board. So we're hoping that you will approve this walk. We expect first-year walks. If we get 200 people, we'd be really happy. We do have a partnership with Vol State, so there's a student group there that's already planning to come, and we also are working with the Hendersonville High School Honor Society, and they have adopted this as their fall volunteer initiative, so a group of them will likely come as well. So we're hoping 200 people. Our goal is to raise $25,000. The money stays in the community and funds our programs and services which are provided for free. That's kind of the highlights.
I have a few questions. Is your date September 21st or 28th?
21st.
Okay. So setup, you would need the 20th. Where are you looking to have your tables for registration and the first aid center and food and all that?
Yeah, we were hoping to use the pavilion as sort of our main area. It's pretty recognizable, and people will know that that's sort of an anchor point. And then to set up around there with our sponsor booths and first aid center, et cetera. You know, the police department is saying they can, you know, we're hoping that every walk that we've ever done, we get either the EMT or the fire department to provide the first aid, et cetera. Mr. Evans suggested that we could look at some of the maps of other walks, since this isn't a gigantic one like 1,000 people, that have happened in the park, and kind of map the route around there and use that as a template to set up.
Okay. So you're not looking to use the athletic field at all for any
Nope.
Okay.
No.
And then last thing, Wade, that weekend's been a reoccurring event out there. They used that shelter in the field with Ivy Brook. Have you heard from them, and do you know if they're returning this year?
I've not heard anything from them. And normally they apply the weekend after they're done. So they have not applied or sent anything inquiring for this fall.
Okay.
Yeah, we picked that weekend partially because we didn't want to do it during fall break. The national day for many walks around the country is in October, but it falls during our fall break. And since we have so many young people participating, we knew we would miss out on that.
Is there a certain distance you're trying to walk? You just want to walk. So potentially
Yeah.
we could contain this all within Memorial Park, not have to worry about getting police on the roads and.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And we want that because we want people to
Yeah.
be safe, and there'll be young people and young children too, and we don't want anyone falling in the lake or getting hit by a car.
Any questions? I'm sorry? Mr. Golden made the motion. Mr. Perry second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, now, Mid-10 School Showcase, Ms. Brown. Hello, dear. State your name and your case, ma'am.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm Tina Gale. I'm actually in Johnson City, Tennessee today. I'm on here on behalf of two of my local tournament directors there in Hendersonville, Natalie Brock and Kelsey Cartwright. And we're looking for our organization, Diamond Classic Fast Pitch, to be able to be on the list of approved renters at Drakes Creek Park. Just to give you a little bit of information, you know, Natalie and Kelsey are both, they're locals in your area. Natalie has a T-ball practice tonight, and she's the head coach, and she couldn't be there. She didn't want to disappoint 6- and 7-year-olds. So just fun fact about Natalie, I'm not sure if you guys have met her or talked to her, but Natalie is a past University of Tennessee collegiate softball player. She played there and played in 2 College World Series, won an SEC championship. So I'm sure she's having fun with 6- and 7-year-olds. A lot of different competition there. Kelsey is the head softball coach there at Liberty Creek High School as well. So she played softball at Auburn University. Those two ladies come on the scene a few years ago hosting college showcase events. They have done a phenomenal job. Part of the issue in them growing the program is obviously getting softball fields. They have 2 pretty large events this year at Triple Creek Park there as well. So, you know, they're not running invitational tournaments every weekend. Their niche is college showcases. So that's one of the things that we were wanting to do is kind of get on the list of approved vendors. A little bit of information about, you know, our insurance policy. I haven't read your rental agreements to see what your requirements are, but you know, we do have rental insurance policies for all of our parks and recs. They're $1 million policies. It's accident and liability. We can also add your city employees as additional insured as well, because I do that for several of our parks here in Johnson City also. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Any questions for me about our organization or the 2 ladies there in your area that would be hosting those events?
Yes, ma'am.
And just to be clear, this is for them to be tournament directors moving forward. We do not have specific dates available for them yet.
Right.
They're
I
just
think they would
inquiring.
take whatever you have available.
Exactly. So this will
We
be for
kinda
next
know
year.
how that goes.
They just want to be tournament directors moving
Correct.
forward.
Mr. Chairman, I would say, I know one of the 2 ladies she's describing personally, and the other one as a coach. They're good people who do good work with kids. And we host a lot of tournaments that are, you know, you lose 2 on Saturday, but you still get to play for a championship on Sunday. And what they're doing kind of means a lot more, honestly, doing college showcase tournaments. We have a lot of these that come to town for baseball. We really don't have a lot of these for softball, so this would kind of be cool.
And these 2 ladies, I can tell you as well, I would echo exactly what he said. They are class acts in what they're doing, and they have a very good network. I know I've tried to run college showcases here in Johnson City, and it is not as easy as it sounds. I run a lot of invitationals, but you have to have a great network with those college coaches, and these ladies do currently. So I think what they would bring to that area would be a great program for the local players as they're looking to gain that exposure at the college level.
Yes, sir, Ms. Bennett.
So all we're doing is just approving them to be tournament directors for a future tournament in 2025.
Considered, right.
Okay. I go ahead and make a motion for that approval.
Mr. Bennett first, Ms. Ted second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good evening.
Okay, LPRF Heritage Park Grant Application, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet, page 31 through 34 is a resolution and site map for Heritage Park. We are in the process of trying to apply for a grant through TDEC to complete the site master plan for Heritage Park. I will say on the front end, some of you all were at the workshop we had at 5 o'clock, the open community meeting. We are currently constructing an LPRF grant. We are right at the end of it. All we were basically waiting on is light poles to put up lights at Rugby. Once we get that, we will be signed off and completed on our current grant, and we're kind of right at the crossroads of being able to apply for this next round currently. If we don't, or if we aren't able to apply, why would it be important for an LPRF grant? LPRF allows you to use the value of the property as your match. It's a 50-50 grant. You can use cash or land value. The current value, we just got an appraisal back last week. The current appraised value of Heritage Park is $3.38 million. So that's the size project that we would be able to apply for and get, and where we wouldn't have to pay out of pocket to do that. If they'll allow us to go ahead with that, we'll move forward with that application now. If not, then we've done a lot of preliminary work where as soon as they open the next cycle, we'll be ready to apply immediately for an LPRF grant there. We're not going to come back and ask the city for $1.6 million of a $3.3 million grant on that piece of property at this point. But part of the process is for you all to make a motion to recommend this resolution that's in your packet, that BOMA approve it for us to apply. Miss Alicia is here with Kimberly Horn. If anybody has any questions for her, she's already presented today at 5 o'clock, but if anybody has any further questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay. Questions?
On the 2022 grant, sorry to go back, you said, so the turf, rugby fields, and this is ADA parking and viewing improvements. What are those last two?
Do what now? I'm
It's-
sorry.
In the memo resolution, it talks about the 2022 grant cycle for turf, rugby fields, and this is ADA parking and viewing improvements. What's viewing improvements?
So both at Rugby and at the Drakes Creek, we had to come in and improve the ADA parking situation, and we had to construct sidewalks and concrete viewing pads where someone that was in a wheelchair could sit safely beside the field to watch the games.
Any more questions? Do I hear a motion to approve? Mr. Perry,
Yeah, motion approved.
second, Mr. Head. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Mr. Gilly. RTP bike pump grant application, Mr. Gilly.
So, thank you, sir. Similar to what you just made a motion to recommend to BOMA approval of our application for the Heritage Park grant, this is a different type of state grant. It's called Recreation Trails and Pathways. This grant we are not currently constructing, so we feel 100% confident that we will be able to apply for this. It is an 80-20 grant, which means 80% of the funding will come from the state, 20% of the funding will come from the bike community through the Rotary Club, which they've already raised in-kind and cash dollars. Similar situation, these projects could take 2 or 3 years to construct, but this is the first step towards that process.
Just like the last thing.
Correct.
Question? Do I hear a motion to approve? Mr. Pike?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bennett. Any more questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Soccer turf field rules and process, Mr. Long.
Thank you. On page 43 and 44, in your pack is the policy and rules that we've looked to put in place, and we're looking to get your blessing and approval of these two documents. With page 43, under the policy of how we would schedule and allocate, we kind of have a unique situation where we have multiple groups within our soccer community that would use the field, and we envision most of those would really like to use a turf field. So we put together a place or a policy of how we would allocate those the field on a nightly basis to each of those groups. We've met with both of our soccer clubs, Tennessee United and Hendersonville Soccer Club, as well as the state ref assigner to kind of go over this plan. Everyone's on board with it. So everyone understands and is good with this plan. So we're just looking to get your blessing on that. And then on page 44 is the rules in which we would put in place at the turf field, and that's working with both of our clubs as well as Field Turf on some basic rules that would go in place on a soccer field, turf soccer field. We can obviously always add to these rules, but these are the basic ones that we would look to put in place now.
Do we need a vote on this?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yes, sir.
One, are we gonna put something similar like this signage back there?
Yes, there's currently A-frame signage already out there.
Okay.
Because we had the ribbon cutting in the Tennessee United tournament this past weekend.
Yeah, I didn't get to come to see it, so.
It was great. So we did go ahead and go by these rules for this weekend, so we could use the field this past weekend. And then Obviously, if y'all bless this, then we'll keep those out there. If you have any changes or additions, then we'll get new signs made and added out there.
And I'm assuming that these two organizations on board are helping us maintain this, making people abide by this.
That's correct, yeah. We've met with them and sent this to them, and they are gonna educate their families as well on these rules.
Mr. Gilly, do you want to add anything?
I just think your motion would probably be a motion to approve staff recommendations of the policy. Make it
Okay.
simple.
Ms. Pike? All right. Second, Mr. Head. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, sir. All right, Recreation Coordinator, Ms. Hamlin, do you have a report down there, sir? No?
I'll be glad to step in for Ms. Hamlin this evening.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. The Raptors baseball season has begun. They've got about 25 participants in that, and the games/practices are Friday nights at 5:30 and Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock and 9:45. There's a younger group and an older group, so if anyone would like to come out and participate, come on out, and she'd love the help. The second point, Kids Club, their summer program for the special needs is June the 10th through the 19th. And that camp is at Witten, basically 8:30 to 1:30, about 35 spots. And right now, last week we took the returning members, opened it up this morning to anybody new, and we have about 3 spots left if anybody is interested in those. So I think those spots will fill up this week. Again, it's a first come, first served situation. So again, starting June the 10th. Summer program, that program, the Kids Club, she is also looking for workers for that. Take an application for camp counselors. You can pick the application up at City Hall or call the office, and we'll be glad to email you one. And we're taking those up until May the 3rd. The Raptors kickball is going to begin May the 1st. They're right in the middle of baseball right now. Kickball is going to start May the 1st, and then that will go usually till about 6 weeks. The other thing, the fifth point, the special needs fishing rodeo is Friday, June the 7th. So it's over at Memorial Park. If you would like to come by and participate in that, we are maintenance guys, and usually TWRA and a few other groups come by Friday. And then Saturday morning, there'll be fishing also that morning. That's probably the National Fishing Day, Youth Fishing Day, where everybody goes around the country fishing.
Questions?
Any questions for Ms. Hamlin?
Thank you, Ms. Hamlin.
You're welcome, sir.
Recreation Athletic, does anyone have Mr. Fugate?
I can handle that for Ori.
Thank you, sir.
His adult softball, kickball, and pickleball leagues are ongoing. Kickball and pickleball will wrap up within the next month with their tournament, and softball will continue on through into the summer. He's also in the last week of open registrations for both summer t-ball and his adult basketball league. So that ends on Friday if you know anyone interested in either of those programs. And then Ori is also currently working with several new potential program that will be looking to hopefully come here next meeting to get approval on some new programs we can offer in the park. And that's
Question?
all for Ori.
Thank you, Mr. Fugate. Special events, Mr. Evans?
Basically two big things we had last month. We did Putting for a Purpose, which is a fundraiser for Mary's Magical Place at Bluegrass 2 Fridays ago. Elijah and I went out there. We had a good time, a little windy. Raised right around $200. So thank you for the people that putted at Bluegrass. And we'll do that at Country Hills on May 9th. So I'll do it at both places. We had our Nerf Wars on Thursday nights. Got some good coverage from a couple people on social media, which is good. I actually got the video. Like we've talked about Live Barn, how we put the Live Barn cameras up at hockey, and Keith actually took some video of me running around telling kids to shoot each other. So it's actually kind of funny. But basically, like with the way we played games, we made them play Nerf Wars where they had to move in and I appreciate Keith getting the video of it. It's really funny. You see how the kids having a good time, and I got a really good photo from one of the vendors that was there that I'll be posting on our Facebook tomorrow. So we had to cut the oldest group. That was the only group we could not accommodate last night or on Thursday because of lightning. But we had roughly right around 120 that participated in the first 3 hours. So we'll do that again for sure. Besides that, if you don't notice, our next park board meeting is on the 20th. So the 27th would be when our Isaac's concert is going to be. There's a lot of other things that go on that weekend as far as Christ Pregnancy Center, a lot of their 5K, 10K, Memorial Day race, lots of softball and baseball. But one other thing that is going to happen, just so you're aware, Andy and I are meeting with him, but we have that carnival that got approved out at Veterans that week of the 19th to the 25th. That'll be out there at Veterans. Andy and I are meeting with Mr. Barry Lee on Thursday to look at that space and make sure we can accommodate it. So those are just some of the bigger updates.
Thank you, sir. Questions? Maintenance, Mr. Cole?
Yes, sir. We don't really have a lot of projects going on right now. Now that we're back in the swing of things, we have been slowly chipping away at the tornado damages, and I think we're pretty close to being back to 100% on that, or as good as we can. And then just kind of repairing things that broke during the winter that we couldn't get repaired, like water fountains and everything. I know there's been a couple have been down, but it took us a little while to be able to get those in, but we did finally get those in late on Friday, and we plan on getting those installed this week. So just trying to repair a bunch of stuff that broke on us, and we're slowly catching up. So that's pretty much all we got right now.
Okay, questions? Thank you, sir. Assistant Director, Mr. Long.
Thank you. This past weekend, we hosted the Tennessee United's spring tournament. We had 210 teams in town for that. That was a successful weekend, along with the grand opening and ribbon cutting of the turf field. We have rec soccer still ongoing. Got some makeups coming up this weekend, but otherwise they'll end in mid-May. Adult soccer started last week, and they'll continue on up until the beginning of June. So we got a full league in adult soccer, and then middle school soccer will begin their tournament this week and then wrap up their season next weekend. And then just so you're all aware, on the turf field, we got 16 games scheduled this week already on the field for all those groups, adult, middle school, rec, and Tennessee United. So it's already shown it's going to be a great addition for the soccer groups. Lacrosse, they'll begin their playoffs next week, and then they'll be finished up by May 11th. So good luck to those teams that are competing in the playoffs. Rugby is still ongoing, and they'll finish up with the state tournament in mid-May. And then flag football is playing through the May. And for those of you that are not aware, we've added fields out at the rugby complex. That added 8 additional fields to the rugby complex. So we now have a total of 13 flag fields available to us for scheduling, which is a huge improvement in past years where we've only had 2 or 3 fields that we could use. And then lastly, we're working on a policy that should hopefully come to you all next month on for new programs that for people that are looking to run events or activities in the park that are not non-athletic or special events. That's kind of something that we're missing. We've kind of been piecing together over the years, so we're looking to put together. We've worked with some other local cities on a policy that would be a little more consistent and make a little more sense for those types of like fitness classes and music classes, art classes, anything in the park that wouldn't be athletic specific. So
sorry,
look for that to be coming next month, hopefully. And that's all I've got.
Good jam.
Sorry, sir. We could dance if you'd like. Questions?
I don't know if this is to tell.
We'll call it Ken Hessen's Lessons. Yeah.
This happens at church all the time. So.
When we did the redo of the handbook for the different organizations like United and Tennessee United and 17, et cetera, there was a certain period of time that those were good for. I mean, if I'm remembering it correctly, it was like a 2-year time period. Do we need to revisit that or have them sign up again? Or how? Sorry, I'm springing this on you. I probably should have mentioned it to you before, but Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'd have to look, I'd have to go back and review that. I think it was, it used to be annually, and I think it's now in the handbook that it's every 3 years that they can do it. So, and I think that was just put in. Yeah, we should still be good. I think it'll be next year in 25 when those groups need to renew that.
All right. Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman. A couple of the group situations, Fast Pitch is ongoing, and they did a lot of makeups this past Sunday with the weather turned nice, so they are close to being caught up. The senior men, the 40s and 52-year-old divisions started last week. I know you're thrilled about that. And especially the 65 and over division starts tonight in about 10 minutes, so you still have time to get out there and watch some of that if you'd like, and throw the first pitch out. Mr. Pike, I think, may be throwing the first pitch out for the 65 and over group. Civitan baseball is ongoing. The regular division and the community division and the open. The Fast Pitch Middle School League has finished its regular season and tournament, and their all-star, all-star game is Wednesday night at 6 o'clock on Field 5 if you want to go down and watch some of that. Middle school baseball is doing makeups and their tournament and working on all-star date for them. The hockey ongoing for the adults and the youth. And the live barn has been a big hit with the hockey people. We've had it for about 2 weeks, and the first tournament went over very well. Even the regular stuff last Saturday, regular season, it's a subscription you can purchase for, and actually there's about 4,000 different sites you can pull up on this live barn. So it's a pretty neat situation. I think it will continue to grow, and the interest will continue to grow with this. It's coming down the pipe for us. Beach softball, Hendersonville softball, and Hendersonville baseball all have home games this week, 2 or 3 games, probably about another 10 days, and then the district tournaments will start. Then the senior men and women are the first 2 weeks in May. Coming up, first weekend is women, the second weekend is the men. And I've got some phone calls, believe it or not, from 70 and 80-year-old females, women's teams, looking to practice early. So they're going to come in a little early and practice a little bit. Their numbers are up a little bit for the senior women, so that'll be an interesting weekend. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Parks Director, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Because we have such a great IT department back there, I think he has a live barn video where you can kind of watch. This was from Nerf Night. You can hear it. You can see it. Wade's out there in the middle with shorts on, carrying a microphone. Trying not to get hit by bullets.
I think this was the parent game. I think the parents were playing.
This is the stationary version of the camera. Pretty amazing. Thank you, Mr. Hollers, for putting that up. We kind of already gave an update on the LPRF current grant. The turf soccer field is open. We're currently waiting on the lights for rugby. Hopefully we'll have them in on both fields in May and June. I don't know if we've met yet since the Board of Mayor and Aldermen approved us to get lights for the second rugby field to go with the first one that we're getting with the grant. So that's going to be a huge thing for both rugby and our flag football crew that is out there on 4 nights a week also. Next Wednesday, the 1st, we will open submissions for the groups, businesses, vendors that submitted to do the shop plans for our new maintenance shop. That obviously will take some time after that to decide who's going to do it and get us a good set of plans that we can go out to bid and keep moving on that process. We will be announcing in the next week the closure of the Saunders Ferry Park boat ramp for the summer due to the TWRA project. June the 3rd, they will come in. We're going to announce this tomorrow night at BOMA also, and then we'll have several posts on social media and hopefully a newspaper article, because this is kind of a huge deal. Saunders Ferry boat ramp, or Sanders Ferry, however you like to pronounce it, will be closed from June the 3rd. We hope no later than August. They're rebuilding the boat dock and rebuilding the 3 courtesy docks. It's going to be a huge, huge improvement. We will still be able to use Sanders Ferry Park. We don't know exactly how much, if any, of the parking lot we'll be able to use down there by the boat ramp, but we still are reserving the shelter. Shelter 8 there is booked every weekend from like now until November almost. But please help us spread the word. We will, when we do announce this, the Corps was nice enough to give us a list of all the surrounding boat docks that are public access and the depths that those are, so that people with the larger boats will know which ones they might could go to. And hopefully the Corps will have Rockland Park back open by the end of this month for boating only. They're probably closed down for the whole year at Rockland Park for shelters and things like that, but they're trying to at least get their boat ramp open. If anybody has any questions about that, that is part of the Bill Dance project, where our portion of Old Hickory was named a Bill Dance Signature Lake, and in doing so, we get these renovations done by the state. It's not a city project. The city didn't pick all this stuff to go on, but it'll be a short time pain for a long time gain. That's the way I look at it.
And when we got asked about this, we looked at our calendar, just so you all are all aware, if you get these questions, they needed 60 to 75 days. So when we looked at our calendar, we only had really 1-2 tournaments that go on in the summer, and we had a lot in April and a lot in October. So that basically left us with June and July. So that is why we did tell them those dates.
I just want to thank our staff. You can tell by things on this list, we are inundated with activities and requests and kind of odd one-off events and applications, and putting all these pieces together is quite amazing. They do a phenomenal job. They did a phenomenal job this weekend sorting through a rain shower on Saturday morning that nobody even saw coming on the radar or anything. We all woke up and found out it had rained, and it wasn't supposed to. They did a tremendous job from maintenance all the way in the office of handling that. I also think it shows a lot. I don't sit around and watch other cities' parks board meetings. I probably should. I might learn something, but I don't have time to. I think it just says a lot about our city that just tonight we had people come up here and want to do things to help the special needs community, the mental health community, all types of different things that we're able to do in our parks to help. We're not just playing soccer, baseball, and softball and football. And I think that's important to keep perspective on too. Since it's a verbal update, that's my update. Thank you.
Question? Ms. Ted, you had anything to say down there? Mr. Pike? Mr. Perry? Mr. Golden? Ms. Hellman? Mr. Bennett?
It's pronounced Saunders Ferry. Just to clear the air.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Saunders.
Yeah. Would you be willing to go with me and rechange the sign?
Sure, whenever. It's spelled right.
I'm going to put that on a shirt.
Mr. Peterson?
That'd be a good shirt for one of our concerts.
Mr. Peterson?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I always had some input. Andy, I totally agree. Your staff is amazing. Personally, with my job, I'm managing 16 state projects, and they're all park expansions across the state. And those park directors and mayors would kill to have what we have. So I'm certainly proud of what we do have. And Wade, you didn't mention our Eclipse event that we had 2 weeks ago. The paper said there were dozens of people, but I think it was more like 100. And anyway, but that was last minute, and Wade, thank you for helping us put that together. And we are inundated with a lot of requests because we have great facilities. But we got there early to set up, and let me tell you, and this goes unnoticed, the park was clean, the dog park was clean, the restrooms were spotless and smelled great. Trevor, thank you and your team for always having a great area, and it's always clean and nice. And garbage cans were empty. Board, thank you for agreeing to buy new cans. I think this is cool. You know, anytime we can enhance the parks, and just new painted cans are incredible. And also, Board, thank you for approving the city for applying for 2 grants. You know, anytime we can get other additional funding to put more parks, expand the parks, and it's not tax dollars that the citizens are paying, but in the end, the citizens are going to benefit. So thank you so much for that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. They should see that the Sanders Ferry signs have a little divot with a U on top of it. It'd be me and Mr. Bennett, by the way. So, for your information, anybody have any questions of staff on that? I guess you can read that. Okay, I'll listen to a motion to, Ms. Pike, adjourn. Ms. Hellman, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Of course not.
Get you involved.